Hi, this is Mushen Lee. For my Capstone project for the Human Factors in AI course, I'll be reviewing a product idea that I've been working on. This idea focuses on crowdsourcing damage reports to help utilities restore power faster during outages and making it easier for citizens to get updates and information. This idea came out of my own experiences of living in Houston. I and millions of other people went through a prolonged outage during Hurricane Beryl earlier this year. Now, after a major storm, getting power restored is a really long and complicated process. Utilities often have very limited information about what's happening on the ground, and full damage assessment can actually take days. Meanwhile, people are stuck in the dark and they're left scrambling to try to figure out which local services, like gas stations or grocery stores, are even still open. So, the idea would be to crowdsource that critical information, gather real-time updates from citizens, and use AI to classify and prioritize damage reports. That's the concept behind this app. This would allow users to upload photos of damaged power lines or other critical infrastructure, and the AI steps in to help utilities assess the damage more quickly and help send crews where they're needed the most. Here's a general task flow of how it could work. The user opens the app and they snap a picture of the damage, and the app automatically geotags the location. The AI classifies the severity of the damage based on the image and other inputs, such as any descriptions that the user may include and their GPS coordinates. The app also sends this information to the utility, which can then be used to prioritize which repair work to start first, so that they can start sending in repair crews based on the level of damage, which areas are critical for restoring power to the grid, and how they're all connected. One of the key features is that users can then track the status of their report directly on a map. When you submit a damage report, a little pin appears on the map showing the location that you've reported. When you click on the pin, it will show the status of your report, like whether it's still being assessed or if a crew has been dispatched. You'll also get to see an estimate of how long it might be until power is restored to your area. If there are delays, the app can explain why, like if there's a shortage of crews or other issues that they're dealing with. That way, everything is clear and you're kept in the loop. This is actually a screenshot from my own utility's power outage map, so you can see that this can be easily leveraged in the same way. In terms of transparency and fairness, this is actually huge. There was a lot of online chatter during the major outage, suspecting that utilities were favoring wealthier neighborhoods for power restoration, which I don't think that's what's actually happening, but it's hard to argue with the feeling that you're being neglected when you're not being given a lot of updates or transparency into how the utility is making decisions. So if we were to automate some of that decision-making process on where to restore power, we want to make sure that we're bringing in more visibility into how decisions are made. So for instance, utilities may decide to prioritize areas that can help restore power faster to the grid. Like maybe they're trying to prioritize restoration to critical infrastructure. Or maybe there are very large damages happening to very large transmission towers that they must fix first in order to try and restore power quickly to a large area. If there are any significant delays, we can use push notifications through the app to explain what's happening behind the scenes. This kind of transparency can help people feel that the utilities are doing everything they can to restore power as quickly as possible, and that the process is fair and equitable. Of course, privacy is always a design concern, and especially when we're asking users to share their geotagged location for damage reports. We want users to know that their data is being strictly used for damage verification and power restoration. One of the concerns that I heard from people who are in emergency response management teams is the ability for people to abuse crowdsource apps and send in false information. So therefore, having geotagged information can help reduce the risk that we're receiving fake reports. We can also be transparent about ads. If we show you advertising for something like backup generators, a source of possible monetization to help pay for the servers that be running the model for this AI product, the app can include a little note explaining that we're showing you this ad based on your activity, like the fact that you are searching for nearby hotels or gas stations. This way, people know exactly why they're seeing certain types of ads. We can also, of course, ask users to give us explicit opt-in consent to share their location, but also explain why we're asking for their geotagged information. One important note that I've added to this presentation is the importance of accessibility. We want to make sure that this app is accessible to everyone, especially if we're talking about a diverse city like Houston, Texas. We have over 140 different languages spoken in this one city alone. Luckily, Google Translate API makes this really easy. Once you integrate it into your app, it can automatically support multiple languages, hundreds even. This way, non-English speakers can easily navigate around the app and meaningfully contribute to the damage assessment process. We need to make this as user-friendly as possible. I'm hopeful a solution like this can make a difference in times of crisis and help both citizens and utilities restore normalcy. While using AI can help to speed up damage assessments and power restoration efforts, a lot of what makes this app valuable are all the non-AI elements. It's important that we are offering critical information during a time of need and provide an accessible way for communities to work together with the utilities and not feel neglected during a challenging period. These human-centered design elements and considerations around accessibility, privacy, transparency, usability, and approaching the entire solution from an understanding of what is the human need we are trying to address, these are often more critical factors than the AI models that are handling the impressive calculations in the background. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to find me on LinkedIn or at my website at mushenli.com if you have any questions.